and stayed at a friend's house. There, 18,000 men visited bin Aqil and swore loyalty to Imam Hussein and Muslim bin Aqil. Imam Hussein to go to Kufa. Yazid realized that he needed somebody in Kufa to make sure that Imam Hussein was not able to rise. Yazid wanted someone on active power and believed that he who Muslim bin Aqil grew very scared because he had already sent a letter to the Imam that told the Imam to join bin Aqil in Kufa. For the Kufans acted as though they were loyal and anticipating the Imam's coming. Bin Aqil's few faithful followers were brutally murdered. Bin Aqil was left all alone and shelterless. Muslim bin Aqil wandered around Kufa in a state of despair. He saw a woman, Taw'a, standing at her door and approached her.
Too much for a burden to give me a little bit of water. Ma'am, I have neither a house nor a people. I came to your city and I was betrayed. I am Muslim. I am Muslim. The Kufans wrote my master Imam Hussein letters that begged to overthrow the dictatorship. I came to represent Hussein who was abandoned by the ones who swore allegiance to us.
Muslim ibn Aqil, please come in. I'm sorry for not inviting you in earlier.
Taw'a's house served as a sanctuary and a hiding place for bin Aqil. Soon, while at the palace, Ibn Ziyad warned his son.
How can I explain before Allah this betrayal? Oh, my master, I have truly failed you. My cursed son, who I would never suspected, has ruined us all.
You have been very kind and considerate to me. May Allah reward you for this. The betrayal is not yours. I must go.
No, you cannot. Those are the soldiers of Ibn Ziyad. They're known for their cruelty. I'll tell them you're not here.
No! They are here for me and me alone. I will not endanger your life or your home. I cannot allow you to be harassed by these merciless animals. I must leave and defend myself as best as I can. Oh, messengers of evil! What do you want from me?
We are here to take you to trial for your crimes.
On whose orders are you to take me?
You know very well who issued this order.
Was this order issued by the man who amuses himself with monkeys and harlots? Is this the same man that begged my master for freedom?
Guard, tie the criminal up in chains. What's wrong with
The governor wants my death, not my peace. What? You prefer Islam with your evilness. Murder is your first and foremost principle as a leader. Please, Ibn Sa'd, you have already done me wrong. Make Imam Hussein what they said. Died. By Allah, please tell him.
I swear, I'll send this message to Hussein. Take him to the palace balcony and behead him. Throw his body off the palace balcony and let him fall for the horde of Kufans.
Oh Allah. Inna Rashi'un. May Allah cause all the merciless sirens to burn in hell.
And threw it down the balcony. Imam Hussein's
يا دهر أف لك من خليلي كم لك بالإشراق والأصيل من صاحب أو طالب قتيل والدهر لا يقنع بالبديل وإن Sister Zainab, seek help from Allah and know that the people of the land are dying, and that the creatures of the sky are not going to stay, and that everything will die except Allah. Uqsimu alayki, do not cry a lot when I die. Do not hit yourself or hurt yourself. And we have Rasulullah as an example for us.
That is true, O son of my mother. My great father is a great example.
Abbas, the Imam's brother and army commander, set up tents on the barren land. Yazid's troops, who had followed Imam Hussein alayhi salam, set up their tents in the same barren land. The Imam and his companions refused to attack the enemy first. So for 7 long days and nights, the soldiers harassed the Imam and his companions. Despite all this, the Imam's courageous men and women remained patient. On the 7th of Muharram, Umar ibn Sa'd, Yazid's army's commander, ordered his soldiers to prevent water from reaching the camp of Imam Hussein. After 3 days and nights without food and water, the situation at the Imam's camp was becoming desperate.
O most merciful of those who show mercy, I have left my city for your sake, simply because your noble apostle once uttered, the greatest struggle is a word of truth in the face of a tyrant. I know not what will become of me, but I have placed my trust in you, and only you. If torture and death await me, if I must endure to witness the murder of my sons, the sons of my brother, or my loyal companions, if I must go to you, knowing that the women of my household will be led into slavery and defilement, I can only reply as my grandfather did on the difficult day of Taif. As long as you are not angry with me, I care not. I only seek your blessed countenance and good pleasure.
Several tears emerged from the eyes of the Imam and fell upon his beard.
Ya Ibn Rasulullah, I have always known you to be quite formidable in the face of danger and tribulation. What makes you now waver? If it is the will of the All-Knower that we are slain in this land, why do you now weep?
Oh, my dear sister, it is not our lot which causes my eyes to flow with tears. God the Exalted says in his book, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَن يُقْتَلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٍ بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. Do not say about those who are slain for the sake of God that they are dead. Nay, they are alive, but you do not perceive. But do you see these men? Do you realize who they are? These are men who claim to be upon the religion of our grandfather. Men who worship the Lord of Muhammad 5 times a day and night. And then they're witnessing some blessings of peace upon God's apostle and the people of his house. Yet these same men, these demonically deceived men, have resolved upon slaying the family of God's apostle. Woe unto them, alas, for the wombs that bore them. O Zainab, I weep for them, our enemies who face eternal chastisement, yet claim to love Rasulullah.
Hussein, what audacity do you show by coming against the Caliph of the Muslim community? What what?
You have Wallahi, Sa'd, haven't you heard the speech of God, the sublime and exalted? إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. God only wants to remove all sins from you, O people of the house, and render you pure and spotless. We are the people of the house. Haven't you heard the apostle of God say that he left behind 2 weighty entities, and that if we hold fast to them, we will never go astray? The book of God and the people of my house. We are the people of his house.
You?
Indeed, haven't you heard the speech of God, the sublime and exalted? قُلْ لَا سَلَكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. Say, no reward to ask of you for this except that you love the family.
Of course.
We are the family. Therefore, woe unto you, O son of Sa'd. How have you demonstrated your love today for the people of the house? O you who has come out with swords and arrows to massacre the one who was held by the master of the children of Adam while standing upon his pulpit. It is I, Ibn Sa'd, it is I, Hussein, the son of Al-Zahra, the daughter of your Lord's beloved. How would my mother view your actions? Would they anger her? Do not be deceived this day by strength in numbers or weaponry. The flood of sin and evil has reached the gate of your city. So embark upon the ark, for as now as it was in the days of Noah, peace be upon him. Your salvation depends upon your love for me and my family. Ya ibn Sa'd, what will make you realize? O my followers, you are free from your oath. It is me that Yazid and his treacherous followers want. And I do not want to force any of you to lose your lives tomorrow when the soldiers attack. I will blow out this candle, and whoever of you that would like to leave can do so without shame.
When the Imam relit the candle, he saw that all of his companions had remained in their spots. The Imam was overwhelmed by their sincerity and told them that no prophet or Imam had such loyal friends.
O our master, what would we say to Allah? No.
Meanwhile, in Yazid's camp, the soldiers partied, danced, and joked. Few soldiers feared their fate, one being Hur ibn Yazid Tamimi.
Why are you shaking, Hod? I am choosing between Jannah and Nar. And wallahi, I'll choose Jannah over anything, even if I was chopped and burned. If we are such a fierce army, then why do we deprive the children of water, which even the dogs and pigs take freely?
Hard. You know, this is only a strategy. Besides, these are no ordinary men. We have to take advantage of every advantage possible.
To win the battle, must we lose our humanity? Are we not human beings? Am I the only one that can hear their cries?
Hard. It is essential that we win this battle. You know what's been promised to us in gold and land? Allah forgives, Hard.
Are you not made of flesh and blood? Do you not hear the cries of the children? Or have the war drums made you deaf?
Do not become disobedient, Hard. Your fate will be equally tied to the Saint and his companions.
So be it. Have you lost your humanity as well as your religion? How can you enjoy yourselves while infants and children are dying of thirst?
What is wrong with you, Hud? We're only doing as your leader commands us.
Even if your leader's a fool?
If you're planning to betray us and join the camp that we leave in a matter of 24 hours, then we think you are the fool.
Allah knows best. We will see. Assalamu alayka ya Mawlai, ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn binta Rasulullah. I am the one who diverted you to Karbala. I am the one who stopped you from going back. I am the one who scared your family, but I didn't know they would do this to you. I came to you today apologizing to you and asking for forgiveness from Allah. فَهَلْ لِي مِن تَوْبَةٍ?
Get up, my brother. You are Hur, just as your mother has named you.
You have treated me with such kindness that I do not deserve. Please allow me to ride out to the battlefield before the blood of any of your companions is spilled.
You are my God-feared loyal guest. You have my permission to do as you wish. Go, Yarhamakallah.
Oh, Kufans! You invited Hussein, then you treated him like a captive. Now you'll meet your fate. You won't even let him travel back to his homeland or drink water from the river that the swine and dogs have access to. You're killing your prophet's children.
Oh, soldiers, when is that I shot the first arrow?
The enemy was commanded to attack Hur. Dozens of the enemy's horsemen were killed because of Hur's great swordsmanship. A blow to Hur's head ended the courageous warrior's life. Hussein spoke his final words to Hur. As Hur died, he wiped the dust on his cheek, put his cheek on his cheek, and said,
أنت حر كما سمتك أمك حر في الدنيا وحر في الآخرة.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam lost his brave companions one after the other, but without any fear and without sense of loss, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was sitting on the door of his tent, thinking about everything that had happened. He became sad for his companions, but the goal for Shahada was great. So with the sadness, he had pride. At the same time, he was sad for his enemies who were seduced by Shaitan. He was praying for them to wake up by their sleep. Imam Hussein alayhi salam tried to talk them many times, but most of them ridiculed his words. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam was in this point of thought, he heard sounds calling him to fight.
Where are you, Hussein? Are you scared? Why aren't you fighting?
Ali al-Akbar, Imam Hussein alayhi salam's son, who looked exactly like his grandfather Rasulullah, peace be upon him, physically and intellectually, came close to his father, holding the bridle of his horse in one hand and his sword in the other, looking at the floor, and he said to his father,
My father, I came to ask permission to go fight, so please allow me.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam looked at his son Ali al-Akbar with tears in his eyes. He hugged him for a long time. Then he held his hand to the sky.
Allahumma kun anta shahida alayhim. O Allah, be the witness upon them. A young man is now going to fight them. He is the person that looks like your messenger. And when we missed our prophet, we used to look at him. Allahumma, take your blessings away from them and divide them. They call us to help them. Then they became against us, fighting us. Ya ibn Sa'd, I ask Allah to deprive you from all of your kids. And I ask Him not to bless you. And I ask Allah to send someone to slaughter you on your bedding, as you did not respect our relation with Rasulullah.
The lady's heart swelled as Ali al-Akbar spoke. His eloquence and looks mimicked those of the Prophet. The ladies kissed Ali al-Akbar, hugged him, and gave him their last goodbyes along with their blessings. Ali al-Akbar returned to his father to say goodbye to the Imam for the last time. Imam Hussein wrapped the Prophet's turban around his son's head. Ali al-Akbar was ready for battle.
I think the liquor from last night making me hallucinate. Is this Abdullah? You fool. That's Ali Akbar, the Prophet's grandson. Ali, kill him! Oh, soldiers, why'd you look at me in shock and rub your eyes? Did you think that I was the Prophet just for a split second? That is only logical, for he is my grandfather. Now that you know I'm merely the Prophet's grandson, is it alright to kill me? What are you waiting for? Kill him!
A strong, evil soldier came to fight Ali al-Akbar. When Imam Hussein alayhi salam saw him fighting with that soldier, his face changed. His mother Layla looked at the pale face of Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Did my son get killed?
No, he did not get killed, but he's fighting a very strong man.
What should I do, Sayyidi? Tell me.
Go to your tent, pray. For my grandfather told me that a prayer of our mother is always answered.
Allahumma bihaqqi Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Oh, return Yusuf to Yaqub. Return to me, Ali, say.
And just as Imam Hussein alayhi salam said, Allah answered her prayer, and Ali al-Akbar came back. But how did he come back?
Al-Atash, the thirst has killed me, my father. Can you allow me to find a little bit of water to give me power to fight against the enemies?
My son Ali, look at my tongue. My thirst is more than your thirst. Be patient, my son. After a while, your grandfather Muhammad will give you a drink of water, a drink that you will never be thirsty after. Go, my son. Say goodbye to your mother, your sisters, and your Amma Zainab.
Ali al-Akbar entered the lady's tent. He said goodbye to his sisters, his aunts, and his mother Sayyida Layla.
Assalamu alayki ya ummi.
My son, Ali al-Akbar, Habibi wa Nur Aini.
Yes, my mother, I came to give my farewell, but please stop crying. Don't you see the women on the doors of the other tents? They're all proud in front of my grandmother, Fatima Zahra, for her son or husband. Don't you want to be proud of me in front of my grandmother?
اذهب يا ولدي بيض الله وجهك كما بيضت وجهي عند الزهراء.
Ali al-Akbar went back to the battlefield, fighting bravely. But the enemies greatly outnumbered him. An evil man stabbed him in his back, and another one hit him with a sword on his head.
Bunay Ali, may Allah curse whoever killed you. How dare they? على الدنيا بارك العفا يا ولدي.
The young men of Imam Hussein were martyred one after the other, except for Qasim, Imam Hassan's son.
علي راح تعالي وعاونيني بشد الجراح علي راح يا زينب قومي سنديني علي راح علي راح تعالي وعاونيني بشد الجراح أشيل شلون لمه أخاف تموت يمه أشيل شلون لمه أخاف تموت يمه أخاف تموت يمه علي راح تسمع يقلها تعالي يا اختي يا زينب تعالي انقطع راس الولد يا اختي قبالي تعالي وعاونيني بهذا حالي انكتب قدامي تتذبح عيالي انكتب قدامي تتذبح عيالي.
The young men of Imam Hussein were martyred one after the other, except for Qasim, Imam Hassan's son.
هل من ناصر ينصرنا؟ هل من معين يعيننا؟ هل من داب عن حرم رسول الله? Is there anyone who can help us? Can anybody rescue us? Can anybody defend the ladies of Rasulullah?
I can help you, my uncle. Do you allow me to fight?
My son, you are the wadi of my brother Hassan. I do not want your mother to lose you.
Amman, my mother's the one who sent me here.
My son, go back to your mother.
When Imam Hussein refused, Qasim went back to his mother pleading. When Ramla saw him in this case, she took the will of his father, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and she held Qasim in her hand and took him to Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. I insist you allow Qasim to defend you, and this is under the will of your brother Hassan alayhi salam.
O my brother Hussein, when you read this, you will be in pain and surrounded by the corpses of those whom you love. Your body and your spirit will be sore. I will not be around to sacrifice myself on that day. However, my son Qasim will be around to represent me. By the love of your brother, O Hussein, please send my son Qasim out to the battlefield. I am ready to meet him.
As he read the letter, the eyes of Imam Hussein filled with tears. Then he let Qasim wear the ammama of his father, Imam Hassan alayhi salam, on his head, and he gave him his sword. He started to look at him as if he is seeing the picture of Imam Hassan in front of him. Qasim headed towards the battlefield.
إن تنكروني فأنا ابن الحسن سبط النبي المصطفى والمؤتمن هذا حسين كالأسير المرتهن بين أناس لا سقوا صوب الميزان.
He fought with the strength of 50 men. He killed many of the enemy's soldiers before his sandal untied. When he bent to tie it, a soldier hit the young boy with his sword and he fell to the floor. The treacherous soldiers did not stop, but they went on to trample Qasim's body parts with their horses.
Shame on the people who killed you. It is hard for your uncle to hear a call and cannot help, or hear a call and cannot answer you.
The Imam took Qasim's torn pieces and returned them to the tent.
The sand dunes of Karbala were now smeared with the
من العرس ما يحرم حنيتي دايم المنصاب شمعة شبابي يطفوها حنيتي دمي والجفن دعار التراب.
The The sand dunes of Karbala were now smeared with the blood of many of Imam Hussein's companions. Few men remained alive. Many of the children were close to death from hunger and thirst, and most did not even have the strength to cry. Abbas was the leader of the soldiers and the person who was taking care of the women and children of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Those women and children, including Sukaina, the daughter of Imam Hussein, were very thirsty, almost dying of thirst.
My uncle so very thirsty.
Oh, my niece, how is it that young innocent children like you are made to suffer like this?
When I see my grandfather in heaven, I will complain to him about the behavior of these men.
May Allah watch for your patience, Sukaina. As for me, I cannot remain patient while my dear niece is dying.
Ahmad, bring me water, please.
How can I sit here while my dear niece is dying of thirst? I will take my chances, and if Allah wills, I will quench the thirst of my niece. Imami wa Sayyidi, let me fight these disbelievers. Allow me to defend you and the family of Rasulullah.
How can I let you go when you are my brother and the leader of my army? You are the one who protects Ahlul Bayti, and you are responsible for Zainab as our father has asked you.
Which army lies the leader for? They're all dead. Sayyidi, I cannot stand what these people are doing to us. I cannot stand to see you lonely anymore. Ask you for help, and you don't find any help. I cannot bear to hear the crying of the children dying of thirst, and I cannot refuse Sukaina's request. Let me at least go bring some water for them.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam allowed Abbas to go bring water for the children. Holding a sack with him, Abbas headed toward the river Furat, which Ibn Sa'd allowed the pigs and dogs to drink from and not the family of Rasulullah. On his way to the river, many soldiers fought him, so he fought back until he reached the river. Abbas was very thirsty. He put some water in his hand to drink, but he remembered the thirst of his children and his brother, so he threw the water from his hand, saying,
Who is that near the river? He does not look like one of our men.
What is Abbas? Must stop him.
Must we? He's only getting water to give to the women and children. It is so wrong to allow that.
I know what you're saying is right, but I'm not sure what to do. What is that you were saying? Who's that getting water? Nothing, our commander. If you do not show me who's that over there by the river, I'll order my officers to kill you.
Forgive us, our master. It is Abbas.
You saw him getting water from the river. You idiots! Do you know that man is? The son of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Second of one.
Upon hearing Ibn Sa'd's commands, the soldiers attacked Abbas and struck his right arm. Abbas clenched the sack with his teeth to take it to the women and children and fought only with his left hand. An enemy soldier came from behind him and struck his left arm. The soldiers kept throwing arrows at Abbas until one arrow hit the leather sack and pierced it open. Abbas fell to his knees and helplessly watched the water spill onto the desert. Another arrow went into his eye. A cruel soldier came from behind him and hit him with a sword on his head.
أخي الآن انكسر ظهري الآن قلت حيلتي الآن شمت بعدوي. Now my back has broke. Now I lost everybody. Now my enemies are happy.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam took his head to put it in his lap, but Abbas put his head back on the floor. Again, Imam Hussein took his head and put it in his lap, but again, Abbas put it back on the floor.
Why are you not letting me put your head in my lap, Akhi?
Akhi, now you're putting my head on your lap. But after a while, where will your head be, Akhi Hussein?
Abbas alayhi salam closed his eyes and became a shaheed.
أخا وعباس عظم الله أجركم بالعباس.
وعباسا وعباسا وعباسا.
ما اقدر اشوفه معتفور حيد لزينب يا القمر. اسمع وياي لحظة بقبل هالجفوف قبل ان تقبل هالسيوف. عباس لزينب تعوف تبقى غريبة يا القمر. لحظة أباشم من حرق بشبع منك وانظرك بشتاق خويا المنظرك منه بعد مثل القمر. منه بعد عينك لي ومنه بعد المحملي. اسمع منه بيكفى البت علي ترضى أجانب يا قمر. اسمح لي بعوض.
Imam Hussein had a baby that was only several months old, Ali al-Asghar. Ali al-Asghar's face usually shone with beauty. However, after days without water or food, his face became dull.
Zainab, give me Abdullah. Maybe if the enemy saw his case, they will give him some water.
Imam Hussein carried his infant in his hands. His eyes were closed and his lips were chapped from thirst. He took him towards the tents of the enemies in hopes to quench his thirst.
O people, you killed my friends and my sons and my nephews, and I do not have anyone else except this infant. He is dying of thirst. What sin did he commit? He did not do anything to you. He doesn't even know what's going on. Give him water and save his life. I'm sure that many of you have your own children, and as from one father to another, I implore you, for the love of your own children, do not let this young child die of thirst.
The opinions of the enemies didn't agree. Some of the people said that he didn't do anything and should get some water, and others said that they shouldn't let any one of Ahlul Bayt drink water, not even a drop. Ibn Sa'd was consumed with anger and he felt that the army is dividing.
Harmana! Throw an arrow at that baby before the army will split. Disagree more and more.
Karbala was good at aiming. He threw an arrow at Abdullah's neck. The arrow went in from one side and got out the other. The poor baby cried. Imam Hussein put his hand under Abdullah's neck until his hand was full of blood. He threw the blood up to the sky, and not a single drop came down, and said,
هون ما نزل به أنه في عين الله.
Imam Hussein alayhi salam went back to the tents, holding his dead son in his hands.
Did they give him water, my brother?
This is Abdullah. He has come from front to back.
Imam Hussein buried the young infant with his own hands. The sun was now casting long shadows on the blood-stained plains of Karbala. Imam Hussein knew that this was the time to do what he had been prepared for since childhood. The Prophet himself had spoken to Hussein about this day. With no one left to defend him, the Imam went to the women's tents to say his final farewell.
هل من ناصر ينصرنا؟ هل من معين يعيننا؟ هل من داب يدب عن حمل رسول الله؟ Is there anyone who can help us? Can anybody rescue us? Can anybody defend the ladies of Rasulullah?
Everybody is dead, and no one could answer Imam Hussein alayhi salam. His son, Imam Zain al-Abidin, was sick, very sick. He tried to get up from his bedding using a cane. Holding his sword, bending his back, he said,
I can help you, my father.
Zainab, take Ali back to the tent. I do not want the enemies to see him and kill him.
Sayyidah Zainab alayhi salam took him to the tent. Imam Hussein started to get ready to fight, so he wore his grandfather's abaya and held his sword, and he looked around to see who will help him bring his horse to him. He didn't find anybody. Suddenly, he saw his sister Zainab bringing the horse for him, crying.
How harsh I am! Which sister brings to her brother the horse of death?
Imam Hussein alayhi salam went to the ladies in the tents to say farewell. All of the children and women came, hugging him and kissing him. But Imam Hussein didn't see Sukaina with them. She was sitting in the corner of the tent. Imam Hussein alayhi salam went towards her. He started to comfort her and pat her head. She knew that she will be an orphan. She said,
I see you are saying yes to death.
Who would say no to death when there's no one to help him?
Imam Hussein left the tents and walked towards his horse. As he was walking, he heard a voice saying,
Akhi, ya ibn ummi, come back to me.
Please, Zainab, let me go.
I ask you بحق أخينا علي. Hassan, come back to me.
Please, Zainab, let me go. If we kept hugging, I would never leave.
I ask you بحق أبينا علي, come back to me.
Please, Zainab, let me go.
I ask you بحق أمنا فاطمة, come back to me.
Imam Hussein felt bad and he went back to his sister and she hugged him. She smelled his chest, kissed his back, and faced towards Medina.
الآن قد استرجعت الوديعة يا أمّا.
Zainab, what did our mother say to you?
When my mother was dying, she told me to kiss the back of your neck, the place where you will be slaughtered, and to smell your chest, the place where the horses will stomp.
Finally, Hussein went to the battlefield and he said to his enemies,
Oh people, why are you fighting me? Did I change the sunnah of Rasulullah or the Sharia of Islam?
No, but you didn't give allegiance to Yazid. If you say yes to Yazid, he will set you and your woman free.
والله لا أعطيكم بيد إطاء الذليل ولا أقول لكم إقرار العبيد.
Fire!
They attacked him at once. After a while of fighting, Umar ibn Sa'd said to his soldiers,
You cowards! You know you are fighting the bravest. You have the man who killed the infidels cornered. Hit him with arrows, spears, stones, swords, all at once.
Imam Hussein got cut in many places, but he was still fighting bravely until he almost died of thirst. He headed toward the river Furat to drink some water. As he was about to drink, he heard one of the soldiers telling him, Hussein threw the water from his hands. He rushed back to the tents. There was no fire. He went back to the battlefield. All the soldiers surrounded him and started throwing arrows and stones at him. One of the arrows was a large spear with 3 points on its head.
Ya Allah, you know that they're killing me and I'm the grandson of the Prophet.
Imam Hussein tried to get the spear out of his body, but he couldn't. He said,
Bismillah wa billah wa ala millati jaddi Rasulillah.
Imam Hussein finally pulled the arrow out and he fell to the ground.
No one to cut the heads of the grandson of the Prophet. They are too scared.
This is a disaster. Is there anyone who's not care who he is?
I will do it.
You will be rewarded.
Shimr sat on the chest of Imam Hussein. He held Imam Hussein's head.
Oh Shimr, you know who I am.
Yes, Prophet Muhammad is your grandfather. Ali is your father. Fatima Zahra is your mother. Hassan is your brother. And you are Hussein.
And you are still going to kill me?
Yes, I don't care.
Shimr tried to cut off Imam Hussein's head, but he wasn't able to cut it.
Look at Hussein lying on the ground. May the skies fall and the mountains crumble, Ya Allah.
Oh Shimmer, we give the animals water before we kill them. Are you going to slaughter me when I have had no water for 3 days?
Wallahi, that is exactly what I intend to do.
Ya Allah, guide these people, for they know not what they do.
Die!
He had to hit him with the sword 12 times before his holy head got cut off.
I come to me, O my Lord, La ilaha siwak.
Behold, the head of Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib.
اللهم تقبل منا هذا القربان. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
When the night fell in Karbala, Imam Hussein is gone, Abbas is gone, Ali Akbar is gone. All the men had died and the women were left alone. Imam Sajjad was ill and the women of Karbala had no one else to protect them. Yazid's armies rushed over to the tents of Ahl al-Bayt, whipping the women, beating the children, and ripping their belongings. All the ladies were struck with deep sorrow, clinging to Lady Zainab in fear. Their veils were taken from them by force, leaving them uncovered. Suqayna's earrings were ripped from her ears. The soldiers showed no mercy, only inflicting more violence. They began beating Imam Sajjad, who was ill and could not defend himself. Zainab could not accept this oppression and threw her arms in front of Imam Sajjad, shielding him from the whips. Ibn Sa'ad ordered the tent of Ahl al-Bayt to be burned to the ground.
Fire the tents of the Zalimeen! Go.
After the soldiers burned down the Imam's tents, they took the women and children as captives with the heads of the Shahada to the city of Kufa to Ibn Ziyad. As the holy caravan of Imam Hussein entered Kufa, the people were cheering and expressing their joy of victory. As the holy caravan of Imam Hussein entered Kufa, the people were cheering and expressing their joy of victory.
Oh, people of Kufa, we have found the rebels. Here are the rebels who dared flout the authority of our great leader Yazid. Here are your prisoners of war and slaves, Zainab bint Ali, Ali ibn al-Hussein, and the family of Hussein ibn Ali. We have brought the traitors to justice, and now we will rejoice. So rejoice, people of Kufa, rejoice! Who is that disguised woman? What are your response? That is Zainab. Zainab bint Ali. Zainab bint Ali. Alhamdulillah alladhi fadahakum wa kadhabakum. Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah who has disgraced you and revealed your lies.
بل الحمد لله الذي كرمنا بنبيه محمد وطهرنا من الرجس تطهيرا إنما يفتضح الفاسق ويكذب الفاجر فهو غيرنا. Praise be to Allah who has honored us with his messenger Muhammad and purified us from impurity. Only the guilty will be dishonored, and we are not them.
كيف رأيت صنع الله بأخيك وأهل بيتك? How did you find the way Allah treated your brother and your family?
والله ما رأيت إلا جميلا. I saw nothing but beauty.
Huh? Beauty? Is it beautiful to see your family killed?
هؤلاء قوم كتب الله عليهم القتل فبرزوا إلى مضاجعهم وسيجمع الله بينك وبينهم فانظر لمن الملك يومئذ يا ابن مرجانة. These are the men whom martyrdom was written for them, and they rush towards their graves with honors, and know that Allah will judge between you and them, and see who will be the winner on that day, O son of Marjana.
Alhamdulillah alladhi shafa qalbi biqatli taghiyatik al-Hussein. Praise be to Allah who has satisfied my heart by killing your tyrant Hussein.
إن كانت قرت عينك بقتل الحسين فكانت عين رسول الله تقر برؤيته وكان يحمله وأخاه على ظهره فاستعد غدا للجواب. If your eyes were satisfied by the killing of Hussein, then know that the eyes of the Prophet were satisfied at the sight of him, and he used to carry him and his brother on his back. So prepare your response to him on that day.
I'll be of justice of cutting all the tongues of Ali's children. Silence! Do not speak to my God! Kill him!
Ibn Ziyad! Didn't you shed enough of our blood? You killed my protector and desecrated my family. Wallah, I will not let you kill him. If you want to kill him, then kill me with him.
I will kill him!
My master, do not kill him.
I will kill him!
My master, he has a disease that will kill him.
A disease. Your illness is a better punishment for you than death. Take them to our master Yazid in Sham.
جاءنا الظلام فاهدأوا وناموا في غد نسافر ما لنا مقام جاءنا الظلام فاهدأوا وناموا في غد نسافر ما لنا مقام عمتي لا أستطيع النوم إني خائف ذاك الذي عند الخباء واقف هو من سب أبي والنحر منه ناسف كيف أخفو إن جفني من دموعي ذارف يا حبيب قلبي نم إذا بقربي يا حبيب قلبي، نم إذا بقربي، زينب تراني أنا لا أنام.
Order! You stand before the Khalif Yazid ibn Muawiyah.
My dear Ibn Sa'ad, who are these pitiful creatures? I was expecting the daughters of Rasulullah.
My master, these are them. They have been walking for weeks. Who can recognize them in this state?
Is that so? I don't really remember what they look like. Actually, I never saw them. They were always covered. I think there's a family resemblance.
Permission to speak?
Yes, go on.
My master, give me this little girl to serve me at my home.
She is yours.
She will not be for you or for you.
You lie! That is a decision for me, and I can make it if I want.
No, Wallahi has not given you this unless you're willing to leave our religion and practice another.
You dare speak to me that way? Your father and your brother are the ones who left our religion.
With the religion of my grandfather, my father, and my brother, your grandfather and father became Muslim.
You lie, enemy of Allah!
The liars are not among us. You were sitting at your throne as if you were a prince, cursing and oppressing with illegitimate authority given to you.
I see you have aged, O Abu Abdullah. 1 for 1. And now we are even. ليت أشياخ ببدر شهدوا جزع الخسرج من وقع الأسل لأهلوا واستهلوا فرحا ثم قالوا يا يزيد لا تشل قد قتلنا القرم من ساداتهم وعدلناه ببدر فاعتدل لعبت هاشم بالملك لعبت هاشم بالملك فلا خبر جاء ولا وحي نزل ولا وحي نزل.
Allow me to give a few words of wisdom to these people. They may obtain knowledge and reward in knowing them.
No, that will not be allowed.
Zid, you should let him speak. Yes, let him speak, master.
Do you know who these people are? They are people who acquired knowledge like a baby drinking its mother's milk. So be it. Say what you want.
O people, Allah has given us 6 things and blessed us with superiority in 7. The 6 things which He has given us are knowledge, forbearance, generosity, mercy, eloquence, valor, and the heartfelt love for the believers. Allah has willed it that the faithful people will love us, and it is not possible to prevent this by any means. Our superiority to others is based on 7. From us is Muhammad, the Prophet of Allah, and his successor Ali ibn Abi Talib, the leader of the martyrs during his time, Hamza bin Abdul Muttalib, Jafar al-Tayyar, who flies in the heavens with 2 Allah, Hassan and Hussein, the grandsons of the Holy Prophet of our nation, and the Mahdi, the savior of the oppressed and deprived people, Imam of the last age. From these are our holy family.
Enough! Sit down!
Hind, the daughter of Abdullah, was a servant at the house of Imam Ali. After the Shahada of Imam Ali, she stayed with the household of Imam Hassan. Muawiyah took her from Imam Hassan and married her son to Yazid.
Sister Kulthum, do you know who this lady is?
No, I don't know her. How do you know her?
This is Hind, the daughter of Abdullah. She used to be our caretaker.
Sister, which region are you from?
We are from Medina.
Blessings of Allah and those who lived in Medina. Sister, I want to ask you about a family that lived in Medina. May I ask you a question?
Ask what you wish.
I want to ask you about the household of Ali ibn Abi Talib.
And who do you want to ask about?
I want to ask you about Hassan and Hussein. I want to ask you about Zainab and Kulthum and the
If you are asking about the household of Ali, then know that it is left crying for its dwellers. If you are asking about Hussein, this is his head in between the hands of Yazid. If you ask about Abbas and the rest of the men, we left them slaughtered like sheep in Karbala. If you ask about Zayn al-Abidin, here he is weak and exhausted from illness. This is Kulthum, and these are the rest of the ladies of the household of Ali. And if you ask about Zainab, I am Zainab, the daughter of Ali.
I wish I was blinded before this day and would have to see the daughters of Fatima like this. So then it is true, Yazid? You ordered the head of Hussein to be carried out on a spear by the door of our palace? The head of the son of Fatima, the daughter of our prophet? You really captured the family of the prophet? How could you? I can't believe this! I can't believe this!
Get back, woman! Veil yourself!
I should cover myself when you leave the daughters of Rasulullah uncovered. I swear by Allah that I will not enter your palace unless I bring them in with me. My lady Zainab, forgive us. Please, forgive us. Forgive us, Allah. Please, forgive us.
Get back! I said get back! Every day it keeps getting worse. More and more reports of complaints from the people. You captured the family of Rasulullah. They didn't do anything. Look at the poor prisoners. The prisoners, I am their leader. And they're talking about some prisoners.
My master, there has been yet another riot last night. There's unrest everywhere.
Curse these prisoners! I wish they had never been brought here. Even my wife won't stop talking about them. I don't get any peace.
What does my glorious master suggest we do?
We will. We will. We'll get rid of them. Take them back where they came from. Let the people say Yazid has repaid them in kindness and mercy and treated them well. Yes! I like the idea. It has come to our supreme attention that great tragedy has befallen you. We sincerely regret this, and according to the great law of our religion, we would like to offer you 10,000 dirhams in return.
Money? Yazid, you know full well our relatives were killed by your command. We do not want your wealth. We may be in prison, but we have not been humiliated. Do you think that killing the servants of Allah frees you from the wrath of Allah?
You dare speak like that! I am offering you justice!
Is it from justice, Yazid, that you protect and conceal your wives and slaves while you have violated the daughters of the Prophet? You cast away our veils and exposed our faces, allowing the enemies to drag us from city to city, while all the people and places witnessed your notorious deed, making us the center of attention, honorable and undignified, while we are left without our guardians and protectors?
ما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ثم ترتجون لو لم يقتل الحسين. And whatever tragedy befalls you, it is on account of what your hands have wrought. And then you ask, the Hussein should not be killed.
وكيف يرتجى حفيد آكلة كبد الحمزة؟ كيف يرتجى آكلة أكباد الأذكياء؟ كيف؟ وكيف يرتجى من نبت لحمه من دماء الشهداء؟ وكيف يستبطأ بكرهنا أهل البيت من نظر إلينا بالبغض وعداء؟ ثم تقول غير متأثم ولا مستعظم لأهلوا واستهلوا فرحا ثم قالوا يا يزيد لا تشل وأنت تنحني على حنايا أبي عبد الله سيد شباب أهل الجنة تنكتها بمخصرتك ما أجرأك على الرحمن. And how can we expect any good from you? For you were the grandson of the woman who ate the liver of the Prophet's uncle. You were the man who lived off the blood of martyrs. And how can your enmity towards us, Ahl al-Bayt, be any less intense or more subdued, while you look at us with contempt, disdain, bitterness, and hatred? And you boast while jabbing your stick at the severed head of Imam Hussein, the master of the youth of paradise, that if only your grandfathers and fathers could see you now, they would be overcome with joy and happiness. We have not come to expect any good from you and your twisted deeds, for all you have ever done is pour salt on our wounds.
نكعة بدر من نكعة كربلاء.
إي والله فقد نكأت القرحة بإراقتك دماء ذرية محمد ونجوم الأرض من آل عبد المطلب فما عدت واستعظم عظم هتافك لأشياخك الجاهليين تدعوهم، فوالله يا يزيد لتردن وشيكا موردهم، ولتودن أنك شللت وبكنت ولم تكن قلت ما قلت وفعلت ما فعلت. You have car progeny from a truth, and you have spilled the innocent blood of the prophet's family, the stars of the earth, and instead claim to call on your corrupt fathers and grandfathers. You will soon face them, and Allah will be the judge, and you'll wish that you were paralyzed and mute, so that you could not say what you have said and done what you have done.
اسكتي! أفر الله جلدتك كما أفر جلدة أخيك.
ما فريت إلا جلدك ولا حززت إلا لحمك، ولتردن على رسول الله بما تحملت من سفك دماء ذريته، وانتهكت بحرمته من عترته، حيث يجمع الله شملهم ويلم شعثهم ويأخذ بحقوقهم. ولا تحسبن الذين قتلوا في سبيل الله أمواتا بل أحياء عند ربهم يرزقون. You have done nothing but cut your own skin and tear your own flesh, for you have shed the innocent blood of the Prophet's family. And on that day, Allah will gather all those bodies that you brutally dismembered, so that they may seek justice against you. As Allah says in the Holy Quran, and reckon not those who were killed in Allah's way as dead. Nay, they are alive and provided sustenance from their Lord.
حسبنا بالسيف حاكما بيننا وبينكم. It is sufficient for us that the sword is a judge between us and you.
وحسبنا بالله حاكما وبمحمد خصيما وجبرائيل ظهيرا، وسيعلم من سول لك ومكنك من رقاب المسلمين أينا شر مكانا وأضعف جندا.
هل ترون ماذا كان سيفعل إمبراطور الروم لو أن امرأة تخاطبه كما تخاطبني هذه المرأة؟ أما كان يأمر بصلبها. Can you imagine what the Emperor of Rome would have done if a woman spoke to him like this woman? Would he have crucified her?
لقد جرت علي الدواهي بمخاطبتك، وإني أستصغر قدرك وأستعظم بتقريئك، ولكن العيون عبرة والصدور حرة، فالعجب كل العجب بقتل حزب الله النجباء بحزب الشيطان الطلقاء. ولئن اتخذت مغنما لتجدن وشيكا مغرما، حيث لا تجد إلا ما قدمت يداك وما ربك بظلام للعبيد. Had time not done this to me, I would not have even disgraced myself to speak this to you. I belittle your value and magnify your evil crimes and sins. But the eyes are tearful and the hearts are burning. What an atrocious act you have committed. You have killed the virtuous party of Allah with the malicious party of the devil.
والله لأكيدنكم كيدا ما كاده سلطان برعيته. I swear by Allah, I will plot in a way no leader has ever done to his citizens.
لسنا برعيتك، فكد كيدك واسع سعيك.
What did you expect for rebelling against our authority?
We do not seek to rebel. We only came for when the people of Kufa called for our aid. All we want now is our freedom and our belongings, few they may be.
That's it.
Our belongings and the head of my father Hussein and the heads of all of his companions.
We will grant you what you seek. Out of our kindness and compassion, give them their rags and their heads. Put them on some camels. Take them to Medina. Go! Askituha! Let her see your dad. I don't want to hear empty voices.
Freed from Sham, weak and heartbroken, the captives took the journey to Medina. On their way, they stopped in Karbala to visit the grave of Imam Hussein and the rest of his companions. When they neared Medina, a poet by the name of Bishr approached Imam Sajjad.
Assalamu alaikum, my Imam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Yes, I am, my Imam.
Your father, may Allah have mercy upon him. He was a great poet. How are you at poetry?
I am nowhere skilled as he, but I can recite a few lines.
In that case, Bishop, go to Medina and mourn the loss of Aba Abdullah.
يا أهل يثرب يا أهل يثرب يا أهل يثرب بلا مقام لكم بها قتل الحسين فأدمعي مدرار الجسم منه بكربلاء مضرج والرأس منه على القناة يدار.
أخبرني عن الحسين.
My lady, a great battle has been fought in Karbala. My lady, your son Abdullah has been killed.
ما سألتك عن عبد الله. أخبرني عن ولد الحسين.
My lady, your son Uthman has been killed.
ما سألتك عن عثمان. أخبرني عن ولد الحسين.
My lady, your son Ja'far has been killed.
ما سألتك عن جعفر. أخبرني عن ولد الحسين.
My lady, your son Abbas has been killed.
يا ابن حزلم، لقد قطعتني يا قلبي. أخبرتني بقتل أولادي الأربعة، ولكن اعلم أن أولادي وجميع من تحت السماء فداء لأبي عبد الله. يا ابن حزلم، أخبرني عن ولد الحسين. يا ابن حزلم, know that you have ripped my heart from my chest by telling me that my 4 sons have been killed, but know that my sons and everyone under these skies is devoted to Aba Abdullah. Ya ibn Hazm, tell me about my son Hussein.
My lady, Hussein has been killed in Karbala.
وحسينا وإماما وقتيلا ومهجة قلبه يا أبا عبد الله.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Let's recite dua Faraj together. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آله. قال الله في معجم كتابه الحكيم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا وقودها الناس والحجارة. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Dear brothers and sisters, respected guests, faculty, students, actors and actresses, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you. First, I would like to thank each and every one of you for making an effort, a sincere effort to be here to enjoy the presentation and the play by our wonderful students. Second, I would like to thank all the faculty, the alumni, the parents, the volunteers, the community members who took part in any shape, way, or form in this play and the preparation for it and anything that was associated with it. Most of all, I would like to thank our students. I'm really very, very proud of them, extremely proud of them. I am nowhere close to the Prophet and Fatima al-Zahra, salamullahi alayhim. But there is a narration that they say the Prophet, whenever he used to see Fatima, يقول انجلت عني الهموم والأحزان. Every time he used to see Fatima al-Zahra, all his pain, all his sorrow, all his difficult times, he used to have a lot of difficult times, will go away from him. Again, as I said, I am nowhere close to that, parallel that I am making. But any hard day I have, any difficulty I have, any challenge I face, the minute I look at these beautiful faces in all their ways and shapes and forms, their mischievousness, their achievements, their dips, their heights, all my pain goes away and I feel re-energized because I see the future in them. I see how they are going to be the leaders, inshallah, of the future. I would like to share with you a story. When I came to the United States and I had only 2 little children. My mother was visiting us, and it was the afternoon, and my mom keeps coming and going to the yard. She came and she said, my daughter, it looks like it is past Salat time, but I didn't hear the adhan. So at that time we were in Erie, Pennsylvania, and there weren't any masajid, there weren't anything. So I told her, Mom, there is no adhan here. We go by the clock. She said, my daughter, how can you raise a child in a land that you cannot hear the adhan? Either you do something about it or you pack your stuff and go back. My mother was an illiterate woman. She only memorized a few short verses of the Quran, and she used to, every 10 days, 2 weeks, tell me that she did Khatm al-Quran, and all she does, she will open the Quran, look at the pages and read these surahs that she knows and flip the pages and wipe the Quran against her face and body and do dua. And that was her way of doing Khatm al-Quran. She was illiterate, however, she knew what it takes to instill a religion in a child. So I have one simple message to all the parents in the audience. These children are a trust that we have. As beautiful as they are and as joyful as they are a big responsibility. A responsibility that we have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they are not put in an environment that they hear the sound of adhan, that they see the prayer performed every day, that they get engaged in presentations like this, it's very, very hard to expect out of them, much in the future. You may argue this point and tell me, no, there are kids. The point that I want to make is that public schools is not for our kids, especially in today's age where there is big value violations in public schools. I am not a jurist, I am not a fatwa maker, I am not, any of that, but just by common sense, there is violations of whatever we teach in our houses, and these are kids, and they drink these things and they eat these things day by day, indirectly and directly, without us knowing. There is no safe place for kids. You may say that, I teach my kids at home. Believe me, home is not home. Home is the gadget that our kids have in their hands. So public schools are not for these Muslim children. It's a responsibility. I leave it with you. I am saying these words, not to get a promotion, not to get a higher rank in my job, not to get a raise in my pay, not to get anything. I am saying it because of my love for these kids and the potential I see in each and every one of them. Here at City of Knowledge, our motto is access, equity, and success for every child. Access, equity, and success for every child. Why? Because each and every one of these kids has the potential to be successful. has the potential to be the leader that the Prophet said, كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. There is not me and he and she's in charge and he's in charge. No. The Prophet gave the charge to all of us. So each one of these students is responsible about each other, and each one of these kids are responsible about each other. I thank you again one more time, and I would like to call Sister Salam, the main director of this play, to come here. Please, Sister Salam, greet her with a nice salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
مجرد كلمتين عن سيدي وحبيبي ومولاي، سيدي وسيد قلوب الناس أجمعين، الإمام الحسين عليه السلام، وعلى أولاده وعلى إخوته زينب. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
قلبي ينادي مع دمع حسيناه، قلبي ينادي مع دمع حسيناه، يحن نبضا وأنفاسا ليلقاه، روح الحياة ومسراها إلى جسمي، حب الحسين ونور السعي مسراه. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
I'm really happy to be here in front of you guys, and I'm really happy to be the mother for all of these kids. I'm here in City of Knowledge since 9/9/1999, and I am proud. I'm really proud to be here, and I don't want to go from here except I fell down from here right away to my grave. This is the place which I loved so much, the place of Islam, the place in which I came from my country to here. I used to teach for another 18 years in Catholic school, and I saw the different, much different. I am Muslim there in Catholic school, and I used to teach Islam and Quran, but I didn't find there the lovely place which I found here. When I came on 9/9/1999, first day for me was here. After lunchtime, they start prayer time. I said, Ya Allah, how lovely is this? I'm going home now, and I did my salat. I used to go from my Catholic school to home at 4 o'clock to do my salat and to do what I have to do for my wajib. But there I said, I am here teaching Arabic, teaching Quran, and I'm going home finishing my wajib. I did already my salat, and I'm getting money with all of that. Subhanallah. From that time, I really love it, and I am still in love for that. And I taught since 9/9/1999. Do you know how many generations? Some of them, they're kids, my students now. And I'm happy to be here. And I'm always, inshallah, with you here. And I love you all. And you did an excellent job. I think they deserve from you a loud salawat. And a place tahir like this place. Medina tahira like this Medina. مدينتنا مدينة العلم تستحق منكم أن تبذلوا في سبيلها. We deserve, all of us, the school, us, the kids, your own kids, the future for your kids. We all deserve to give us some money today as donation after this play. And thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Not right now.
I felt so bad for him.
Alright, everybody, get ready.
Salawat.